Did Ron just set the internet on fire? Or is his publication of a private video of Jim Jones causing chaos on social media? Millions of people now witness what was previously a private occasion, including fans, celebrities, and insiders. The graphic video, which shows Jim in a very personal and vulnerable situation, has shocked the hip-hop world. It leaves many people asking why Camron would act in this way. As the video becomes viral, Jim Jones is forced to limit the harm, save his reputation, and provide his version of events. Story, but this isn't just about the video. It's about betrayal. Chrissy Lampkin's husband is furious and prepared to retaliate, saying Camron has gone too far. Was this leap truly an attempt to destroy Jim? Or is there something else going on here? Tensions are rising and the stakes are higher than ever. Keep checking back for all the fascinating details as this drama is just getting started. Viewers were shocked when the video went viral after it was leaked. Within hours, the whole hip-hop scene was discussing it on social media. Camron was known for his erratic behavior, but no one could have foreseen this. Even worse, Jim Jones, formerly considered one of the most revered figures in the game, was suddenly embroiled in an unexpected scandal. The actual movie was startling and incredibly genuine. Jim was acting completely out of character, leaving spectators to wonder if Camron had set him up or if it was an accident. As the video went viral, fans and celebrities alike responded on social media. While some were shocked and unhappy, others used the opportunity to point out that Jim had always kept his personal life quite private. All of a sudden, it was publicly visible. No one was exempt from the repercussions of this leak, which had undoubtedly far-reaching implications. Chrissy Lampkin, Jim's longtime companion, wasn't keeping silent as the video went viral. The drama diva, who is famous for her fierce personality and intense love for Jim Chrissy, was furious and took to Instagram to express her feelings. Her tweet only served to fan the flames, as fans quickly filled the comments area with opinions that either questioned Chrissy's involvement in the situation or complimented her. "How dare you betray us like this? There's no coming back from this, Camron. You crossed the line." Some even speculated that Chrissy might have been concealing information from Camron, and that she might have been more knowledgeable than she was acknowledging. Saying such as this isn't what it looks like, and don't believe everything you see. Despite this, it was evident that the damage had already been done. Damage control couldn't reverse the impression that the movie had made. Jim was upset in private, according to people close to him, and Camron's actions caught him completely by surprise. Jim never imagined Camron would be so unfaithful to him after years of friendship. Although there had always been rumors of tension between them, nobody had anticipated it would get this severe. The hip-hop scene was ablaze with rumors that Camron had been holding a grudge for some time, and that this video release was his method of finally taking charge of the story. While June struggled to decide how to handle the matter, some fans viewed it as a marketing gimmick intended to increase tension and drama for both Camron and Jim, while others saw it as a personal betrayal that might have long-term effects on their relationship and careers. The story took a more complicated turn when it was revealed that Camron had posted the mysterious statement, "The truth always comes out," on his personal Instagram. The video kept making headlines, and Jim and Camron were under more and more pressure as a result. The leak wasn't just a viral moment. It was turning into a full-blown crisis. And Jim wasn't just dealing with public embarrassment. Although he didn't say that he was behind the leak, it was obvious that he was hinting at his involvement. Many of his fans expressed their shock and disappointment in the post, while others defended Camron, arguing that there might be more to the story than what was being revealed. Chrissy wasn't going to back down in the face of possible fallout. That could have a significant impact on his career, relationship, and legacy in the hip-hop world. She made it clear in a series of heated posts that she wasn't going to let this go unanswered and demanded answers from Camron, asking him to explain why he had chosen to betray Jim in this way. As the days went by, the pressure on Camron increased. as more and more people began to wonder why he had leaked the video. Or was there something else going on behind the scenes? As the drama played out in real time, fans were caught in the midst of a fierce battle between two hip-hop legends. And everyone had thoughts on as the scandal grew, it became evident that was only the beginning of a much larger story. What would happen next? Would Jim and Camron's friendship survive this betrayal? Or was this the end of an era for the two hip-hop icons? Fans eagerly awaited the next twist in the story, either to see how this drama would unfold as the days passed, or because some were supporting Jim, insisting that he didn't deserve this kind of treatment, while others were quick to call out his past behavior, questioning whether he was really as innocent as he appeared. The media went crazy, closely examining every word and emoji to determine who Camron was really targeting. Camron Ever, the master of igniting controversy, teased fans with bits of information in a series of cryptic tweets and Instagram posts that only served to fan the flames. In one post, he included a picture of himself in a contemplative pose. And in another, he said, "You can't trust everyone who smiles in your face." Fans were left wondering if Camron was referring to Jim or someone else. Fans weren't persuaded, so many took to social media to vent their disappointment in Jim Jones, who was trying his best to remain calm in public by downplaying the incident, in a few interviews saying that the footage was a complete misunderstanding. Chrissy, who was already devastated and frustrated by the whole situation, decided to escalate things after Camron's posts. "Do you think it is funny? Do you believe that exposing my lover in this manner is a joke?" She transformed from Jim's partner to a furious guardian who will stop at nothing to defend their connection. Her feelings were honest, and her remarks resonated with her fans. In a live Instagram video, she asked her obvious rage. She wasn't going to let Camron off the hook without a reaction, as the live video demonstrated, and it immediately acquired popularity. Although Camron has always been dubious, she felt that was betrayal at the time. There was a split on the internet, with some declaring Camron a genius for inventing drama and others condemning him for publicly shaming Jim, whom they believed had done nothing wrong. The issue was widely discussed by hip-hop insiders, some of whom speculated that Camron may have been jealously attempting to destroy Jim's career by pointing out that Jim had been creating the revelation from a source close to Camron, that he may have had inside knowledge of Jim's personal life that he exploited was one of the most startling developments. It was said that Camron had been monitoring Jim's private affairs more closely than anyone knew, including information regarding his relationship with Chrissy. There had been tales of conflict between Camron and Jim for years, whether it was personal or related to his music company. I thought that it might be a personal grudge that had been smoldering behind the scenes for a long time, even though it was obvious that things had been tight between them. For who had ever doubted his position in the hip-hop industry? Since Camron had always been known for his audacious remarks and daring actions. Some thought it was a power move to reintroduce him into the public eye. It was difficult to gauge Jim's genuine emotions because he was largely silent on the issue and only spoke up infrequently. But it was clear that he was having difficulty dealing with the consequences of the leak. Then the shocking revelation, a second video. The latest video provided additional background for the incident, but it wasn't as illuminating as the first. Jim was seen in the video arguing with an unidentified individual in a private setting, and it seemed to be a heated conversation. Some fans thought that Camron was purposefully trying to maintain the drama, while others saw this second video as proof that more was happening behind the scenes. Camron, on the other hand, was relishing the drama. His social media presence was at an all-time high, and his name was trending for days due to the media coverage of the leak. Tension was heightened by fans who were always on edge, waiting to see what he would do next. Some even appeared to question whether the video release had revealed problems in their relationship. Camron was in charge of the game, not just a player. Everyone had the same question. What was Camron hoping to gain from this? Did he want retribution, Or was just another supporters were anxious to see how Camron, Chrissy, and Jim would respond to this treacherous game of power? Allegiance and treachery. Who would prevail, and more significantly, would any of them get away with it? Fans questioned whether Jim Jones and Camron's romance was about to end as the tension grew. As the feud continued, only time would tell. But one thing was for sure. The leak had exposed the intricate and occasionally tense relationships that existed behind the scenes in the hip-hop industry, sparking something far more significant than a straightforward scandal. Sources close to Camron said that the rapper had been resenting Jim for years, pointing to arguments about music, personal issues, and financial dealings. It was uncertain whether the two could repair the damage caused by the leak, which had caused a firestorm. After years of establishing their careers and leaving their mark on the hip-hop industry together, it appeared as though everything was collapsing at a startling rate. Rumors of trouble started to circulate behind the scenes, disseminate the film he had completed to shake things up and remind everyone who was in charge, though his once flawless public image had been damaged by the leaked footage. And his relationship with Chrissy, who had always been portrayed as one of hip-hop's most stable couples, had begun to show signs of weakness due to the drama surrounding the video. It seemed that nothing could stop him from getting back on track, and was always passionately protective of Jim. As the weeks passed, Jim began to talk more about the topic in an open interview, admitting that the fallout had hurt him. "I never thought Camron would go this far," Jim said in an expressive voice. "We've been through so much together. We've been brothers for years. It feels like this." In a bold move of her own, Chrissy was asked about the video and her thoughts on Camron's actions during a live interview. Her response was straightforward, to put it simply, "But he went too far." Chrissy's comments struck a chord with many of his fans who had long admired his dedication and perseverance. They understood his pain and rage and felt sorry for him. But there were still unanswered issues. These included the justifications behind Camron's original choice to make the video public, as well as the fallout. Many people supported Jim and Chrissy, while others thought Camron had brought attention to a more pressing problem. And some fans wondered if the release of the film was evidence that Jim had been hiding something all along. Chrissy's announcement that she will not put up with this situation shocked the media. She wasn't just defending Jim, though. She was defending their relationship, the people who supported their family, and their reputation. Despite the chaos, Camron continued to be private, posting cryptic comments, poking lighthearted fun at Jim, and only rarely showing up on social media. He also hinted at the possibility of additional, more shocking revelations. "This is just the beginning." When Camron tweeted, fans were left wondering what he meant. Was there more footage? Were there any more mysteries solved? The tension only increased as Camron played the role. To put it simply, the disagreement seemed to have no conclusion in sight. When Camron's close associates revealed that the leak might have been a component of a larger plot, things took an unexpected turn. Others suggested that Camron was making a deliberate effort to control the narrative and put Jim on the defensive, while others speculated that he had been deliberately trying to provoke Jim to create a media spectacle. Regardless of the true motivations, Ron had turned this drama into a full-fledged show, and the audience was soaking it up. Jim was becoming more calm in spite of the public uproar, stayed committed to his singing profession and business endeavors. But there were indications that the drama was affecting him more than he had disclosed. According to reports, Jim asked friends and family for advice on how to handle the situation privately. Although he knew he had to find a way to move past the problem, he also understood that it would not be simple because trust had been betrayed and relationships had been strained. The story was far from over because the video release had simply served as the catalyst for what was certain to be a protracted battle. The drama between Camron and Jim Jones was being closely watched by the world, and the protracted dispute between the two ex-friends appeared to be getting worse every day. Fans were now divided, with some fervently defending their favorite celebrity, Camron, for example, and Jim for others. They were riveted to their seats, waiting to see how this epic story would turn out. Would Jim be able to regain his prominence in the public eye? Or would the leak spell the end of his career? The distance between the two hip-hop icons seemed to have widened despite their best attempts to patch things up. Camron's insulting social media comments increased in frequency, which fueled and sustained the debate. Jim's supporters held fast to everything he said, while his supporters banded together in the hopes that a solution would be found. Meanwhile, Chrissy had started acting on her own. She had always been very private about her personal life. But after the video leak, she couldn't keep quiet and started posting cryptic messages on social media that hinted at the betrayal she sometimes felt from people closest to her. Can do you the most damage. In a series of interviews, she made it plain that she would not allow anyone to drag Jim through the dirt without a fight. We built something beautiful, and I'm not going to let anyone destroy it. Her statements were composed but resolute, and they only fueled the drama's growing intensity. One of her tweets said, sending a clear message to Camron and anyone who might be watching. The public spectacle seemed to reach new heights when Camron addressed the topic directly on Instagram Live. "Come on now," he said, his tone sarcastic about it. "If you really knew what was going on behind the scenes, you'd understand why I did what I did." He said, "This is just the beginning. Trust me, there's a lot more to come." The video went viral instantly, garnering millions of views. He hinted at even more shocking revelations that he was holding off on making until later. He looked into the camera with a sly smirk, and his tone was acerbic but lighthearted. Jim and Chrissy were anxiously anticipating what would happen next, and it was getting harder to ignore the increasing media clamor. With every new development, they knew the tension was growing and that progress was getting harder. Jim had always been known for his strength, but this time it was different. He was fighting for both his relationship with Chrissy and his reputation. The stolen film had destroyed their sense of security in more ways than one, and as more people became involved, the couple began to wonder if their relationships with Camron were as strong as they had been. When Jim and Chrissy were seen together at a prominent event, the situation took yet another unforeseen turn. Despite maintaining a low profile, the couple's attendance at the event made it clear to the world that they would not let the controversy ruin their relationship. As they posed for pictures, their smiles concealed the tension behind the scenes. But the problem was far from resolved. Reports state that Jim had called Camron several times in an attempt to speak privately and resolve the matter. But Camron had routinely ignored his calls, leaving Jim feeling dissatisfied and powerless. Jim told a close friend that he's playing games now, which shocked him. The controversy seemed to be igniting his creativity as his music was suddenly receiving more attention than ever before. Some fans even claimed that the video leak had revitalized his career, giving him a fresh edge that he had been lacking. Despite all of this, he continued to release music and make public jabs at Jim, frequently referencing the video leak in his lyrics, such as "real, recognized real. But I guess I'm the only one left standing." Fans periodically hoped for a reconciliation, despite the tensions, whether that was the case or not. One thing was for sure, Camron was enjoying the limelight while Jim Jones was left reeling from his damaged reputation. Camron and Jim Jones had once been brothers together by their love of music and common experiences, but it now appeared as though all of that was eroding. Their conflict had become personal, and the harm had already been done. Weeks passed during which both sides threw actual and symbolic punches at one another. She said, "It's sad to see it end like this," and she hoped the two men would reconcile. The two men have experienced a great deal together, but as time passed and the likelihood of their reconciliation decreased, Camron showed that he was unwilling to give up. While Jim promised to never forget the treachery, the fans were left in anticipation, wondering what would happen next, and their relationship's future was still up in the air because the drama looked uncontrollable. He had made a rift that might never be repaired, one that no one had ever seen. Before it became more and more obvious that the video release had permanently altered the course of events as the two men attempted to mend their strained friendship. Will Camron and Jim Jones ever reconcile? Or is their once famous collaboration coming to an end? The drama between the two has demonstrated that their dispute is far from finished. Chrissy, what about her? As the stress builds, will she stand behind Jim, or will she act independently? The fans are asking themselves these kinds of questions. Like to hear your thoughts. Did Camron go too far by disclosing Jim Jones' private footage, or do you believe he was justified in telling the truth? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you're enjoying the drama, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to receive updates as soon as they happen. You won't want to miss our next return with even more thrilling stories. Following her emotional message, Rashida's reputation shifted. While some admirers pitied her, others reprimanded her for Rashida shared too much of her children's and Kirk's private lives because she believed it was unfair to them to continue sharing their hardships with the world. She focused on her recuperation, which had been more challenging as the strain rose, and didn't give a damn about what other people thought. Kirk, on the other hand, had to face reality. He had never imagined how long and complicated his road to atonement would be. Felt like he was regressing 2 steps for every step he took. He was battling his addiction and inner demons. But he knew that his marriage was on the line, and despite his best efforts, Rashida was becoming impatient in addition to his own rehabilitation. In the months that followed Kirk's continued challenges, Rashida experienced a range of emotions. Despite Kirk's evident commitment to improving, their quiet appeared to grow louder every day. As the public saw the emotional toll climb with each new headline, the Frost family had to go through the most difficult period of their lives. The future was unclear. Would Kirk return to Rashida in the end, or would betrayal, addiction, and fame continue to damage their relationship? Time would tell. Rashida was now doubting her ability to support Kirk. His addiction was destroying them, and she was privately sad for the future they had always dreamed of. While her intellect couldn't ignore the damage Kirk's actions had caused, her heart wanted to see him get better. During a period of introspection, Rashida found herself considering the unthinkable, leaving the guy she had known. Better. Every time she glanced at him, she couldn't get rid of the sensation that they were getting further apart. The weight of those words felt like a burden now that she understood how far away they were, even though she had always trusted. The pledges they made to one another in good times and bad. For better or worse, the thought of being known as her soulmate seemed strange and uncomfortable. During his recuperation, Kirk had begun attending a new, more demanding rehabilitation program that prioritized holistic care. He was having a hard time reassembling his life and his addiction. But he kept wondering if it was too late, whether Rashida had already gone too far. And if he would ever be able to. However, the reality was more complex. After a heated argument, Rashida once wrote an enigmatic Instagram post that astounded their fan base. And he couldn't sleep at night wondering if their love was resilient enough to weather the storm they had experienced. The media, which is constantly searching for drama, stoking the fires by claiming that Rashida had already moved on and begun dating someone else, while others claimed that Kirk had relapsed yet again. Healing is a process rather than a final goal. Knowing when to let go can be the most difficult thing at times. When Rashida's marriage was in jeopardy, her followers bombarded her with more supportive and worried remarks than ever before. People inquired about the state of her marriage, whether it was dissolving, or whether Rashida was considering it. She remained silent and shunned interviews and public appearances in the days that followed. She seemed to be taking in everything in private, free from the scrutiny that had previously followed them everywhere. And her silence was telling. In an attempt to retake control over her life, Rashida focused more on her business activities during this period because she had always been a strong, independent woman. And her admirers paid attention when she offered them sneak peeks at her prospective ventures on social media. Despite his best efforts to support his family, Kirk, who had always spoken up, Moore was suddenly marginalized and felt alone due to his fight with addiction and the pressure on his marriage. Even though his family and friends were there to support him, despite the challenges in her personal life, Rashida was adamant about staying in the business world. However, the dilemma of whether she would stay with Kirk or leave the man she had once completely trusted persisted. There was a real tension. Kirk tried to remain hopeful, but the uncertainty was too much for him to bear. He knew that his actions had consequences, and he couldn't deny that Rashida's faith and love for him had been damaged. The family was still divided at the moment. Some were supportive and helped Kirk get better, while others were harsher and believed it was time for him to pay for his misdeeds. Rashida was the only one who else she had to make the difficult choice of continuing to support Kirk or letting go of the Frost's future. Rashida's capacity to forgive Kirk remains uncertain in the book's closing moments. There is still a lot of worry because the damage has been irreparable, and it is clear that this drama is far from over. If there are further behind-the-scenes operations, what do you expect to happen, Rashida? As well as please let us know whether Kirk survived or if their romance is truly over. For additional updates on this evolving topic, please remember to like our page and share your comments in the space provided below. For the latest information on your favorite celebrities, return often. Find out what happens next in this thrilling story.